Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, I got my buddy Alex with me today. I've known Alex for a long time. And today, we're going to talk to Alex a little bit about living in Vietnam because he lives there in Vietnam. And so we're going to find out all about that in terms of some things like the cost of living and things to do and all this kind of stuff. I don't even know what I'm going to ask him yet, but I do know I want to find out some information about Vietnam. So, Alex, if you don't mind, you mind introduce yourself for the people a little bit and tell them a little bit about you and where you're at.
Yeah, no problem. Well, just like you, I've been living in Southeast Asia for pretty much most of my life, if you want to call it that. I've been here for about 16, almost 17 years in places like South Korea, China, and now I'm in Vietnam. And I've been living here in the city of Ho Chi Minh or Saigon or whatever you want to call it. I've been here for about 3 years, and I live in one of the most, I suppose, well-known international districts, which is District 7.
So is District 7 like, is it kind of like the downtown area or near like, the most popular areas like tourist areas and nightlife and things like that? Are you nearby those things, or are those things like quite a distance away from you?
Well, this is not really like a touristy type of area. This is more so of a community or family based type of area. There's obviously things to do. You know what I mean? Over here, they have bars, they have clubs, and things like that. But I wouldn't say it's known for that. It's very popular amongst Korean tourists, though, because they have a huge Korean like a community over here. But yeah, it's a well-known international area. We have Japanese schools, we have a Taiwanese school, we have Canadian schools, Finnish schools, French schools. I mean, pretty much if you, it's like I said, it's like, I don't know, if you want to call it a United Nations, like everybody is here. You can find people from all walks of life. So yeah, this is where I am. Unlike District 1, where it's a very touristy area. And I believe when you came to visit me over here, that's where you were staying. So you might know a little bit more about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've visited Vietnam twice actually. One time was I came there to Ho Chi Minh to visit you, which was last year, I guess. And then
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was last year. And then a few years ago, this was before the pandemic, I went down to Da Nang, to the beach area, and I stayed down there for like 14 days or something. But I don't have any experience living there. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to talk to you about, a little bit about living in Vietnam. Because I've talked to you before about, I don't myself don't even know, but I'm interested in leaving China soon because I just kind of want to move on to other things and kind of like chill from work for a bit. And I've been looking at places like Vietnam and Thailand and Malaysia and all these other places. So hopefully, not just myself, but hopefully some other people watching this can get some information about Vietnam that might be helpful for them if they're considering, a place to go, something like that. So,
Yeah.
so thanks for telling us about where you're at. And actually, before we get further into the video, I just want to let everybody know Alex does have a YouTube channel called Alex Abroad. And so he also makes some content about, living abroad. So if you want to check that out, I'll put the link to his channel in the description below. You can go over there and check him out as well if you like. And so anyway, Alex, let me ask you a question, man. So you're living there in District 7, and it's quite a, international district and lots of nice stuff around. Is it expensive to live there in terms of rent?
Well, I believe if I can compare it to anything, it's like a mini Shenzhen, if you want to call it. Not the present modernized, super modernized Shenzhen, but there's also different areas. Like in Shenzhen, they had Lohu, Longhua, Longan, Baoan, all these areas, and depends on where you live within that area. You know what I mean? That's gonna let you know about the price you pay for rent. So I live actually not too far from where all the Koreans and the Chinese people, like the huge majority of the international community lives around here. It's called the Peak or Fumihang. That's what it's called. But I live maybe like 5 minutes from there. So it's like I said, if you want to live amongst the huge international community or like the upper class or wealthy people, is definitely going to cost you money, just like anywhere else. Nice apartments, nice amenities, swimming pools, gyms, saunas, and all that. And I have all this where I live in my building, but it's kind of like run down in a sense. You know what I mean? It's not bad. You know what I mean? But
not well maintained or something like that.
Yeah, I would say that, like I said, in that area, actually, I hope you don't mind me shouting myself out, but one of my videos on my YouTube is actually, I go to that area and I show the houses and I talk about the price. One of the agents actually let me go over there and film, and I talk about the price in that area. So anyway, long story short, I'm sorry. You'll end up paying.
I'll try to find that video and I'll put the link to that below. So if anybody's curious, they can go watch that about the rent and stuff. I'll put that.
Yeah, below. No doubt. But yeah, over there, you probably end up paying anywhere from $1,200 to maybe $2,500, even $3,000 a month for an apartment. Depends if you want it furnished, if it's brand new, you know what I mean? And they also have mansions and all that stuff around that area. So yeah,
I guess it's going to be a bigger house, right? Like you're paying $2,000 or $3,000 US a month. It's probably going to be a pretty big house, right? It's not like a little small like condo or something, is it?
Honestly, no, not really. Like I said, you'll even have an apartment if you want to live over there in that area. Like that area is very well maintained. They even have their own private security over there in that area. So it's not the Vietnamese police or whatever. They have nothing to do over there. They hire their own private security firm that works specifically around that area. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're gonna pay a pretty penny. But where I live right now, I pay actually they dropped my rent this year, but for the past 2 years, I've been paying about 9.5 million VND, which is approximately $360. And I also have an apartment tour on my YouTube, and I show my apartment. So like I said, I'm sorry for shouting myself out, but if people are interested, they can definitely look. I have a 1-bedroom, like a loft upstairs and downstairs or whatever. Okay. It's not bad for one person. Actually, there's actually families that live in this building. I don't know how they do it. Must have a bed downstairs, or maybe they all sleep together. You know what I mean?
So in your place over there, you said it's about $350 a month for. It's just like a 1-bedroom loft apartment. Like about how big are we talking? Like 35, 40 square meters, something like that.
I'll be honest, I don't even know how to really explain it, man.
You
know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah.
Your building that you live in, do they have any special features? Like you have a swimming pool and a gym and stuff like that in the building you live. Does that all come with the $350?
Yeah, it's all free. We have actually 2 swimming pools. We have one downstairs, and they have a pool on the roof. They also have a gym. They have a restaurant here as well, and they have like a little small shopette, whatever you want to call it. When you go downstairs, yeah, exactly, like a convenience store, and you can go there. And because this place it's not only like an apartments, but it's also like a / hotel type of. People can come and stay here short term as well, like tourists and stuff like that. But I think now they're trying to change it. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, everything is included, but just like any place in the world, you're gonna get what you pay for, essentially. But I don't really have too many complaints, I suppose. If I was to be honest, we have a maid. So if you're lazy and you don't want to clean your apartment, they come over here every Monday and Thursday and clean your room for you. And if you're very lazy and don't want to do anything at all, they'll also wash your clothes. It's all for free.
Where I wash my own clothes, but man, I hate cleaning. I like to hire people to come clean my house.
Well, me too, but I noticed that they don't really clean that well. They just smear stuff all over the place. So I just rather take care of it myself. You know what I mean? Like I said, you get what you pay for, bro.
Some of the cleaners who do that too, they have like one rag and they clean everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll wipe the toilet and then clean your kitchen sink with it.
Yeah, that ain't cool, man. I don't like that. I don't like that either. I always
Yeah.
get my own equipment. You know what I mean? Like I have my own cleaner rags over here, and then some in the bathroom for the bathroom area, and I make sure the lady use the one that's in the place.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
but
that
yeah,
don't
man.
sound too bad though. That sounds too bad.
I mean, like I said,
So
well, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you're making like, I don't know if I should say this, but like, let's say you're from a top tier, like a very well performing country economically, and you're making that money here, you will live here very well. But
yeah,
from my experience, I work for a Vietnamese public school. I get paid. I wouldn't say I get paid Vietnamese salary. If I did, I would honestly, I wouldn't know how to survive if I did. So, you know, I'm getting paid. It's not a lot of money in comparison to China. For the viewers who might not know, I also lived in China for 7 years and was making great money over there. So when I came here, it's kind of felt like I moved backwards. But if you're frugal and you know how to, you know, I guess be conservative with your money, yeah, you can save some money. But most foreigners or foreign teachers that live here, they do work 2 jobs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to do all that. I'm trying to work at all. I'm trying to chill. But
Yeah.
so we get that down. Let's talk some more. Let's talk about some other stuff real quick. Let's talk a little bit about the food costs. Like for yourself, like are you cooking at home or are you going out to eat every day? And if you are going out to eat, like what's the food like? Like is it expensive? And do you even like the food there? And like for your taste buds, is the food good for you? What do you think about that?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's delve into that a little bit. Is Vietnamese food my favorite? No, but are there some Vietnamese food here that's amazing? 100%. Like I said, I've been here for 3 years and I found such a simple place 3 days ago. Sorry, you got rice, you got a piece of, you know what, that flat meat looks like steak or whatever, you know. You got your rice, you got your meat, you got your veggies, and then you got an egg. It's like a worker's meal over here, you know.
Yeah.
And I've had it many times, but yesterday I discovered a place, and it's probably was one of the best tasting dishes that I've had. But it's so simplistic, you know what I mean? So, so to answer your question, I mean, you're gonna pay a lot of money if you're going out to eat, but you're eating foreign food, French food, Italian food, whatever. Go to American restaurants. Yeah, you're gonna spend quite a bit of money, and I learned this lesson myself. But like I said, shout out to myself again. A few days ago, I shot a video eating some simple Vietnamese food, and I end up spending. Check this out, okay? I'm just gonna give you. I went and had breakfast. I had a banh mi. I had an iced coffee. I went and I had lunch. I had noodles. I went and I bought myself some water during work. I had dinner. I filled up my gas tank, and guess how much it all cost me?
No idea.
$12.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If you're good at managing money and budgeting, you do well. Vietnamese food is cheap if you stick to Vietnamese food. But
what's a typical Vietnamese lunch cost you? Just like a regular Vietnamese lunch at some, like not a fancy place, just a normal, like, you know, little place to grab lunch.
Bro, probably like $1 or $2. $2-3.
So
yeah.
what if I decide, you know, I want to grab like a hamburger or a pizza, like a Western meal, but not like a fancy one, but you know, like hamburger or pizza, something like that. What's my what kind of money am I looking at for something like that?
Well, let's say McDonald's. Okay. I'm not a huge proponent of McDonald's, but I did have it tonight actually, which was crazy. But so I felt like having a burger or some junk food, so I ordered a burger. I ordered some fries, I ordered a drink, and I had some like nuggets or whatever. You know, sometimes I indulge in things that I shouldn't, but as far as food goes, but I ended up spending like 202,000 Vietnamese. So now compare that 2002 Vietnamese 202,000 Vietnamese
I'm gonna look that up
And
real quick while you're talking.
yeah, yeah, no problem. So 202,000 Vietnamese for that. While in contrast, a typical Vietnamese, like I said, a worker's dish will
Oh
cost
wow.
you, yeah, will cost you around 35,000, maybe 60,000 VND. So for the price of McDonald's, you can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner for like almost 2-3 days.
Let me
You know what
stop
I'm
you real
saying?
quick. 202,000. That's
Yeah.
$7.85. I don't know if people can see that. I just did the converter. $7 for a McDonald's meal versus how
Yeah.
much for the Vietnamese meal? You said it's
Uh, anywhere
70,
from no, anywhere from 35,000
35.
Vietnamese up to 85,000 Vietnamese
Let's just take the high end
VND.
just for fun.
Yeah, just put
85,000
85.
all week.
Yeah.
So if you get
That
an expensive Vietnamese meal, you're looking at $3.30 versus almost $8 for
yeah,
a hamburger at McDonald's.
that's like not a gourmet restaurant, obviously, but it's like a
Yeah,
decent Vietnamese restaurant in an international area. Obviously, they're gonna jack the
yeah.
price up a little bit more,
It's gonna be
because of the
$5
location.
cheaper,
Yeah,
$5 cheaper than a McDonald's meal, and probably 10 times healthier.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or
So yeah, that's the food. International food, like I said, is gonna cost you money, especially if you shop at international markets over here. They have one called Anam Gourmet where they completely just jack the price up of everything because it's all imported and they're trying to capitalize on it as much as possible. So yeah, it costs a lot of money. But if you go to a local market, it's I suppose it's relatively cheap. And one more thing to answer your question, I don't really cook too much at home. Might sound like an excuse because I've been working 2 jobs. So, and you also yourself, the culture. Even Chinese people, they go out to eat a lot. It's like a Southeast Asian thing. Everybody likes to go out to eat. You know what I mean?
yeah, I cook most days, but on the weekend I go out and eat like
Yeah.
1 or 2 meals on the weekend. But most of the days I cook myself. But yeah, a lot of the Chinese people I know uh, order delivery food or eat out all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much can you give me an estimate on how much you would typically spend on the whole month for the food? Any idea?
Oh man.
So
Um, let me.
looking at like $3 a meal to eight
No,
dollars a
man.
meal.
I spend a lot because sometimes I want, sometimes I want, international food, if you want to call it that. Sometimes I
Yeah,
want I want a nice juicy Wagyu burger, like proper meat. So
yeah.
it depends on, I guess how I'm feeling that month. But I'll tell you one thing, probably way too much because that's where majority of my money goes is trying to eat, I guess, like quality food. I'm not saying Vietnamese food is, not quality food. It is, but sometimes I miss. I don't know how can I really explain it. Sometimes I just miss like, being able to just go out and, you know, eat whatever I want to eat. Does it make sense?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean,
So I'm sorry
I
to.
when I visited Vietnam before, I
Yeah.
mean, myself, I wasn't a huge fan of the food, and everybody says how good Vietnamese food is, but I
Mm,
myself, when I was visiting there, especially in Da Nang, I found myself eating at a lot of American restaurants just because there's a lot of them there, and so I was
yeah.
just eating it like barbecue and all this other stuff. I spent a ton of money on food when I was there, but
Yeah.
I don't do that so much in China because I quite like Chinese food. But
Yeah. Well, this is my whole thing. I feel like, you know, in the southern part of Vietnam, the food is like sweet, and I was living in China also myself before I came here, so I'm used to a little more spicy, a little more kick, to the food. And
yeah,
like I said, Vietnamese food is great. There is great dishes, but it's not my favorite in the
yeah,
world. That's why. That's
I found
probably
it to be
why I.
very sorry, I was gonna say I found it to be very bland. Like it's just
Yeah.
not much flavor to it,
uh,
in my
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
And
A lot of
so,
dishes are. Yeah. Like
that's how I felt.
let's not divert too far from the topic, but like, everybody in the West, well, not everybody, I'm generalizing, but a lot of people are crazy about pho. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I've never been like, I don't see the hype about it. There's some great pho dishes, but it pales in comparison to like Japanese, noodles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't mind pho. I like it too, but I mean, I don't want to eat it every day. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
exactly.
can eat it every once in a while. I don't want to eat that every
Can't do
day.
it.
Not my thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so we got some food out of the way. I mean, we're typical meal like $3 or less, and then a Western meal is going to cost you, a crappy one at McDonald's going to cost you $8. So I guess a better one's going to cost you 10,
Yeah,
12,
around.
15 bucks if you go sit down and
Uh,
like eat some spaghetti or something like that.
oh, it's gonna cost you, bro. It's gonna cost you more than that. It's gonna cost you about anywhere from 30 to almost $40 for like a proper, like
Oh
a
wow, that's expensive.
meal. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, let me talk to you a little bit about the transportation situation there, then, because we got the rent, we got the food. So when it comes to transportation, I noticed. I'm guessing there's some public transportation there. I honestly I didn't see any because when I visited there, I mostly took the Grab motorcycles, and they were really cheap. But for you,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing for transportation? Do you have a motorbike that you rent, or do you take the public transportation, or you take the Grab taxis? Like, how are you getting around there, and what's that look like for you in terms of the cost?
Well, to save myself the money, I did rent a motorbike. It cost me about 800,000 Vietnamese dong per month. I got a deal. Most foreigners, they pay anywhere from 1.5 million to 2 million, but I got a deal with this guy. I've been with him for 3 years now, and he comes all the way to me and does maintenance on my bike, everything for free.
Eight hundred thousand. You said
Yeah,
800,000. That's
800,000 per month.
$31. Wow, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. So, but like you said, they do have Grab here. That's like the public, like the taxis or whatever that you can call, and they're relatively cheap, man. I mean, unless you're like super frugal and you don't want to spend your money. But yeah, public transport, like a Grab car, obviously is going to cost you more than a Grab bike. Those are
Yeah.
those are cheap. But as far they have buses here, like the downside is like, look, I'm not going to talk bad about Vietnam, but Vietnam is so far behind a lot of the other Southeast Asian countries. I'm talking about probably, bro, like 15 years behind almost, man. I
You're
don't
talking
know.
like in infrastructure, you mean, like in
Yeah,
the
man.
transportation system?
They
So
do
no subway or high speed rail,
well.
like
They
Bangkok don't
don't
have the GPS and that kind of
nothing,
thing.
nothing, bro.
Okay.
It would make things so much easier because per capita or whatever it's called, they have the most motorbikes here in the world in this small little, well, maybe you call it small, in the city of Saigon or Ho Chi Minh. So much people everywhere during rush hour. It's the craziest thing you'll ever see. So
I remember the traffic there in Ho Chi Minh was 10 times worse than in Da Nang. There's
oh man,
motorbikes everywhere. It's a
it,
nightmare just trying to walk across the street. I can imagine
bro.
like driving.
Yeah, it's absolute. It's hell, bro. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I mean, I hope Vietnam, steps their game up. It's wishful thinking, but man, the people here, bro, and I'm not generalizing. They just do things very slow, bro, very
Yeah.
slow. And I've talked to some. Maybe this is another topic, but I just make it real fast. I talked to some younger Vietnamese people, and they said a lot of the older Vietnamese people, they're stuck in their way. If it's not their idea, they don't even want to consider it. You know what I mean? So if you have this type of mindset, obviously you're going to be behind. Look how fast China grew in the last 10 years, bro, or 5 years. It's exponential growth. Here, it's like a stagnation, but yeah, to answer your questions, transportation is still relatively cheap. Like I said, the most important thing is this, okay? If you are making, like I said, if you're from a well-developed country has great economics or whatever, and you're making good money, if you're making that money here, you don't have to worry about anything in Vietnam. If you're making anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 a month, you're doing well, very well over here. If you're making 1,200, you can get by, but you're looking forward to your next paycheck. You know what I'm saying?
kind of just surviving, not really
Yeah,
doing the stuff you
exactly.
want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of transport, so you say you spend about $30 a month for
Yeah.
your motorcycle, and you obviously have to pay like fuel costs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So will you look
It's
like
cheap.
maybe $50 a month in total for the fuel back and forth to
Yeah.
work, this kind of thing, maybe? I mean, for the
Yeah.
fuel and the bike together, you know?
Yeah, I'd say about that. It cost me 70,000 VND to fill up my tank, and I have to
Well,
do
yeah,
it maybe at the end of every week.
$3, 3, 6, 9, $10. So we're looking at $40 to $50 a month in total for your
Yeah.
bike and the gas. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's
All right.
pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess really only a couple more things that I want to ask you about, I guess, in terms of the cost of living there. I'm sure there's some other things we can talk about related to these things, but in terms of healthcare, have you ever been to the doctor there, or experienced like having to like go buy some medicine or something like that? Like,
Oh yeah.
have you done those things there? Yeah. Is it
Yeah,
is it
bro.
reasonably priced? Like, 'cause I've heard it's affordable, but I've never experienced it myself. So
Okay, well, if you can afford insurance, health insurance, get it. That's my advice. Get it. It's going to help you in the long run, especially if you have full coverage. You know what I mean? I don't know how much it costs people. Personally, I don't have it myself, so I reap the consequences. You know, I got my third week here. I flew off the curb on my motorbike, landed, got thrown off my bike, broke my arm, had to go to the hospital. I didn't go to the local Vietnamese hospital. I went to the French. It's called the FV hospital here because the staff there spoke English. At that time, I had money, but man, it cost me a lot, bro. You know, if I would have went to a local Vietnamese hospital, I might have to wait for a couple of hours, you know, but it's going to cost me significantly less. I honestly, I don't know the price because I've never been to a local Vietnamese hospital myself, except to do a health check for like my work visa and stuff like that. But at the French hospital, man, they're gonna try to kill you over there, bro. You know, like I said, unless you're making great money, you won't worry about the price over here. But if you're making around what I'm making over here, man, you're gonna be like, dang, man, I don't want to kick out this much. It cost me about I mean, it's significantly cheaper than America, obviously. You know, we both know you go there with a headache, you're going to come out with $1,000, you know, bill in your mail, you know.
Yeah, you're going to have a bigger headache when you get that bill.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I broke my wrist. I went over there, they fixed everything up, and I spent around like 10 or 12 million VND. I don't know off the top of my head. That's over like maybe 450, something like that, maybe.
I'll look it up just for fun.
Yeah.
12 million. Oh, I put it in a billion.
Yeah, dang. Yeah. Definitely.
That's a lot.
So yeah, about 12 million, about that price range.
That's about about $470 or so. Yeah.
Yeah. But they did they did a decent job. They you know, they put a cast on me. The doctor spoke English. It was very easy to communicate with them. The downside of it is like, I don't know, I didn't get any like pain pills, so I had to suffer through the pain. Ibuprofen is not gonna, you know, help you, you know. But there's also, I didn't know at the time, but there's also pharmacies that they specialize, because you know, in countries like China and Vietnam, they're very scared about opium-based products because of all the things that happened, you know, with the whole opium crisis that China and Vietnam both experienced. You know, they're very kind of cautious with it, but it is here. Yeah, but it is definitely here. You can get it relatively easy, you know, which could be a good and a bad thing, especially if you're addicted. So like I said, they're very cautious about it. But then again, maybe it's a contradiction, because a foreigner can just walk in and be like, hey, I'm having massive pain, and they'll just prescribe it to you over the counter. You know what I mean? So so yeah, man. I guess the last part of it, we're gonna talk. We might want to wrap it up a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I just want to talk
entertainment.
to you. Yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit about your entertainment costs. Like, what kind of things do you typically do, or what kind of things do other foreigners do there? Do you know anything about the cost of
Bro.
it? Like, if you're going to go out and have a beer, go to the cinema or something like that, uh,
Yeah. Well,
what kind of things is there to
well,
do?
yeah. I mean, look. I guess I'm kind of a recluse. I don't go out as much as I used to. I'll have a beer or something once in a blue moon. But like I said, um, if you go to like a foreign establishment, like a pub or American bar or whatever, you're gonna spend about, I don't know. They have happy hours here, so if you're into that type of thing, like drinking, going watching sports, clubbing, um, it all just depends on where you go, man. If you go to these popular spots in like District One, like the upscale clubs, or uh, what is it called? I forgot the name for it. Kind of like a lounge. You know what I mean? You're gonna pay a decent amount. You know what I mean? You're paying for the, I guess the luxury of it. But if you want to go to pubs, it's gonna cost you a little bit of cheaper. If you go to the movies, like I said, I can't name off the top of my head how much it cost me the last time I went to go watch a movie, but it was probably like maybe 100,000 or something for to go watch a movie, if I'm not mistaken, plus the popcorn and the drink. Um, like I said,
It's not too bad.
Vietnam is one of those cities. Is like there's things to do, but it's not a lot of variation of things to do. So most foreigners, and I'm sure you can attest to that. They resort to drinking or chasing girls, or just, I guess, the typical foreign things that foreigners do, and while living in a foreign country.
Well,
Um,
if a guy wanted to live there and chase some girls, would you recommend it or not?
I mean, yeah, man, there's definitely outlets. You can go to Walking Street, Boy Vien, or if you're more of like a subtle type of person, you can definitely meet women
But that's
everywhere.
the red light district, I guess.
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
mean,
right
what?
there in all the great sushi spots, Japanese, cuisine. They're all located in District One, and that's like the huge, like right in the middle of the red light district. You can't even film over there. They'll get really mad at you over there. So like I said, there's outlets for everyone, just like anywhere else.
Yeah,
And if you indulge in these type of things, obviously you're going to pay a lot of money. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really encourage it, but
It's not
people are
really
going to do. Yeah,
something
people are
I'm
going to.
interested in, but some
Yeah,
people, are interested in that kind of thing. But there's also
yeah.
people who are interested in looking for like I guess you would say like a serious relationship too. Like, do you know anything about that? Would you recommend, like, say an older dude was coming over there and he was single? Would he have any luck
Uh,
meeting a lady that he could possibly like have a relationship with?
he might as well go to Thailand or the Philippines, bro. Here they're kind of. I mean, I've seen it, but it's not as it's not as what's the word, prevalent, maybe, as it is in places like the Philippines or Thailand, where the industry, part of the industry is specializes in that. They call them what, the horist, or you want to
Yeah,
call it,
yeah,
or the what do you call it, the passport bros that go and
yeah.
try to find wives and stuff like that.
I
So
mean, kind of like more of like an age gap thing, like a large age gap. It's not so common there as
yeah, it's
opposed to like
not really.
Vietnam or no, not
Yeah.
Vietnam, Thailand or Philippines.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't really see this much in Vietnam, to be honest. I don't see a lot of like older dudes with young women. In
I
my
never hear any.
experience,
Yeah, I never hear anybody talk about it. That's why I was curious, to, and
yeah,
ask you about it. 'Cause I see it like in Thailand and Philippines. It's not uncommon to see like a 60-year-old dude walking with a 20-year-old girl. But
yeah,
I've never seen that with my own eyes in Vietnam. So
yeah.
haven't spent much time there though. So
I
I was
mean,
just curious.
I seen a like an older gentleman, but he's like usually very well upkept. I seen him with like a younger girl, but as far as like, the type of dudes that you see in places like Manila or Bangkok, this I don't want to judge
Oh,
anybody,
yeah.
but look like they just gave up on life, but they have money, so they go over there and they chase like young girls. Here, I I genuinely I don't see it that much. I really
Okay.
don't. Yeah.
So if you're a younger dude and you're interested in a lady your age, then it's fine. But if you're an older guy, like an older gentleman, probably not going to find because I'm
I mean,
sure the older ladies aren't going to be very good at speaking English and stuff too, though, compared to a younger generation.
oh,
So
this is actually a lot of people here speak English, bro. Like you'll be surprised, which is interesting. I had a friend that came here from South Korea. I mean, we didn't meet up, but he went to Da Nang, and he said like nobody spoke English. I was like, that's weird. When I went over there like 4 years ago, everyone spoke English. So I don't know where the hell he went, but like majority of Vietnamese people, um, both old and young, can speak English actually quite well.
yeah, and
Yeah.
in my experience visiting there, like I haven't spent much time there. I spent 2 weeks in Da Nang, and I spent like I don't know, like 4 days there with you in Ho Chi Minh,
Yeah.
and I was actually quite surprised by the amount of people that I came across that spoke English. It
Yeah.
was like way more than I come across here in China, actually. But I live in these kind of smaller, obscure places in China too. I don't live like in bigger cities, so. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was quite surprised by the level of English. So you can definitely get by there without having to learn the language, I guess, if you just want
Yeah.
to, get by.
Hmm. Well, here's one more thing that I will add. We're going on like 40 minutes right now, but here's one more thing that I will add. Vietnam is also one of those places. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And from my personal experiences, I have like a love-hate relationship over here because for the simple fact that um, in China, I experienced this as well. But a lot of people that I work with, they are put in the positions where they don't have any experience whatsoever. They're just put there to fill the gap. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
causes a lot of inconveniences and headaches. And I found it really hard to be deal with, even though I tried to be open-minded. But like I said, there's no room for suggestions here if you're working uh, with a lot of Vietnamese people. I mean, I've stuck with one company here, but the turnover rate of their Vietnamese staff is absolutely just I was baffled. I had a new TA, which is a teacher's assistant for people who don't know. Uh, Man, in the past 3 years I've been there, I probably had like 12, 13 girls that just came, went. I had one that quit the first week, one quit the second week, and I don't know what's going on, but the bosses that own these establishments, they don't budge because this system is working for them. So they don't want to change anything. They're making massive amounts of money. So, like I said, that's my love-hate relationship. I don't want this experience to ruin my perception of Vietnam. I met some great people over here, don't get me wrong, that helped me out along the way. But um, like I said, if I was to be honest, do I want to continue living here further? Uh, I don't, because I also miss all the four seasons. Here is hot as balls. Okay, it's hot, it's humid, and I'm not built for this type of stuff. So like I said, some people love it, some people hate it, and some people are kind of in between, like I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for what I had in a job, because there's definitely people that are far worse than, uh, you know, far worse off than I am. Like I said, I'm thankful, but yeah, I'm also at a point where I feel like I should go. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm kind of diverting from the conversation, but hopefully this will help some people out to get a general perspective of what to expect in Vietnam. I mean, we could have definitely delved deeper into the finer details, but this is just a little rough outline. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. And
All right. Well,
yeah.
I appreciate your time. I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you don't mind, just before we wrap up here, just let everybody know where they can find you. And also, I'll try to grab those links to some of those videos you mentioned into your channel, and I'll put them below. But if you want to let everybody know where to find you at, go ahead and go ahead and do that. Let them know.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, I'm at Aleks Abroad, just like it's spelt right here on the screen, ALEKSABROAD. You know, you find me. I have like a little white logo with like a little red thing in the middle. But John said he'll post the link, and yeah, I mean, I hope you guys get to watch some of the content, and let me know what you all think. If you have any questions, feel free to ask him and myself as well. Like I said, we've been living abroad collectively for almost like 30 plus years, right?
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
abroad for almost 20 years. So
yeah,
if anybody's got any questions about Vietnam or about working there or anything like that, they can just hit you up on your YouTube channel or something like that, right? Send you a
yeah,
comment. All right, that's
yeah.
cool. I
And one more
appreciate your
thing,
time. Oh
yeah,
yeah, what's up?
yeah. I'm sorry. I appreciate you for giving me this outlet, and I think it's a good thing you're doing this. And I myself hope that you get some other dudes on from other countries, and I like to hear their perspectives as well from where they're living.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely interested in this myself because I'm looking to be moving to other places, not just to one place, but to lots of places. So I want to get
Yeah,
everybody's ideas and perspectives on what it's like living in these other places. So, um, yeah, like I said, I really appreciate you spending time with me today. I hate to take up so much of your time, but I really appreciate the conversation. It's been fun, and yeah, if y'all want to hear more from Alex, hit him up on his YouTube channel, Alex Abroad. Links below, as well as some of the videos he mentioned about the apartment tours and stuff. Y'all can check them out and go over there and give him a look and ask him some questions if you're curious about Vietnam. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see y'all on the next one.
peace.